I'm Andrew Patterson from interest.co.nz. Welcome to another in our Business Success series. With me today, Rick Fala, the Chief Executive of Methven. Hi, Rick.
Hi.
So, Rick, obviously Methven's been around a long time, started in 1886, and yet the company's very different, obviously, to those early days, but you've sort of stuck in that with that plumbing sort of area. Just tell us a bit about where the company sits at the moment and a little bit about that evolutionary process that's gone on.
Sure. We're firmly in the plumbing and the bathroom space and the bathroom experience, but Methven, though it might have originally started out in the plumbing side, actually we were a brass forger, is that over the years, I'm thinking the 1940s we did our part for the war effort, so we became a munitions factory. So that's the Dunedin factory where Methven first started from. But I guess in around about the 1990s was when perhaps the company changed its direction and tapware was seen as a bit of a sunset industry. And so they used to contract manufacture a lot of the capacity on the machines here, and that resulted in us making yacht winches and golf heads and a whole lot of other things. And I guess I was part of a team that in the late 90s brought the business back and refocused on its core, and realised that we had actually some really interesting stuff, actually some technologies that weren't anywhere else in the world. And felt that if we just expanded and worked hard on that, we could make some breakthroughs. That in fact, tapware isn't a sunset industry. Actually, it could be quite an exciting growth opportunity for the business. And so the business is very much focused on the innovative side. And I guess what Methven does really well is move water within household utilities and appliances really well. And so we're really, I guess, a fluid dynamic company. We know how to move water in low flow conditions and also deal with all the challenging temperature fluctuations that tend to happen in New Zealand homes. And as a consequence, we've had several breakthroughs and technologies that we've been able to internationally patent.
Come back and talk about some of that innovation shortly, but the nature of bathrooms have changed extensively, haven't they? They used to be a fairly functional part of the house, but on your website you refer to them as sanctuaries.
Yes, and that's, I guess, something that's happened in the last 10 years. Certainly when we started with Methven, it was about, just cleanliness and hygiene. But people, particularly women, I guess, more than guys, we're just quite happy to have a quick shower and get on with life. But it's often for women we've found through the research and the studies that we've done, user testing, is that actually it's a bit of a sanctuary, a place away from the kids screaming at the door. Actually, when they step in that shower, that's often, for a lot of women, the one place where they get time out. And as a consequence, bathrooms, whereas used to be the kitchen, I guess in the 90s was the big focus, and we had, lots of bigger and more exciting kitchens. Now you're seeing that that's moved quite clearly into the bathroom space. So people want the ability to wash separately and have different experiences from their partner, from their children, and we've certainly seen it, but people are taking more time in that area.
and they're prepared to spend quite decent money on these fittings. I mean, they don't come cheaply, obviously.
I think the people were prepared to spend more money on the bathroom because, it's often, you talk about showers, how many people have those great ideas, and it's the one place where perhaps you can get, that quite really great start to the day or great way to wind down. So why wouldn't you want to pay more for, perhaps, we live incredibly busy lifestyles. We're all over the place, and the bathroom is the one place where you can wind down, relax on your own, and so why not pay that little bit extra for that quality experience?
This is a very competitive space, isn't it? I mean, there's plenty of offerings. You're one of the few that still manufacture in New Zealand, but just give us a sense of the competition you're up against internationally. There are a lot of tapware manufacturers, and for those who don't know Methven, while we might have originally started that, we're very much a shower experience company. So our leading technology is in the shower, and our tapware is actually an accessory to the shower. But in our space, there's literally thousands of competitors worldwide. And originally the main competitors for us came from Italy and from Germany, some fantastic
products are made, particularly in Germany. But then that space has now moved into China. So, literally these products now sourced mainly out of China. Even Methven itself, we source, a fair amount of our products from there. While the key products and technologies are always designed and manufactured in New Zealand, we supplement our range with contract supply out of China. So that's the way we're able to keep competitive with these many, hundreds or thousands of competitors out there, by mix and matching the innovative premium aspects of Methven here in New Zealand, and then having that value range that we can offer, say, for example, to the DIY sector coming out of China.
Plenty of focus at the moment about the high Kiwi dollar and the difficulty, particularly as an exporter as well. How competitive has it been, and how difficult has it been operating with the dollar at the moment?
It is challenging, and look, we're no different from other exporters out of New Zealand. We'd always like the dollar to be better for us. But on the other side of the coin is that we do buy products from China, which is in US dollars. So there is a natural hedge. The other aspect is that we are talking about a bathroom, so it's very experiential. So consequently, our margins are probably higher than a lot of other industry sectors. People are willing to pay for quality products within their bathroom. So that does help, and it doesn't offset what happens with the dollar. But I guess if you look at our results, you'll see that our margins in our annual results are quite strong, and that's just really an indication of the bathroom sector itself. So manufacturers, by and large globally, have good margins in the bathroom sector.
So how price sensitive is this business, and have you seen a change in that, particularly over the period of the global financial crisis, which obviously has affected businesses like yourself as a result of the downturn in construction?
Yes, we have seen since the GFC more switch to perhaps value type products. You've seen that in the rise of the DIY offering. And so certainly people are looking now that they can't afford some of the products. They're looking at seeing if there's value offerings, and there's e-tailers. So we're seeing the advent in, say, the UK of the rise of the plumbing e-tailer, and that's something that we guess will sweep through the rest of the world. Particularly our part of the world, I should say. But here in Australia and New Zealand, which are our two main markets, you're seeing the DIY sector grow, and we've got offerings in that, so we're seeing that business perhaps rise more, and to a lesser extent it's offsetting a decline in our traditional merchant side of business. So yes, that is certainly happening. But it's about the kind of customers you target as well. So the kind of customer who just wants to come in and replace a shower head, that's the DIY type marketer. But someone who's coming in to do a full renovation tends to go to a store that can offer the expertise that shows them how to do the complete renovation, and that's our customer. And that's not necessarily the DIY customer. And so they're after classic, they're after timeliness, they're after products that last a lifetime, longevity, all of those things. They're the kind of customer who's willing to pay more. So that's, if we focus on our niche, and we try to, we're conscious that they are value conscious as well, and they've been affected like everybody else, but it's a bigger spend compared to a straight DIY replacement.
How much sleep have you lost as a result of the downturn of the building sector over the last 5 years? Because you saw reported flat revenues, last September. So how difficult and challenging has it been to sort of keep this business, viable throughout that downturn period?
It's been very challenging, particularly first of all our UK operation. And so our business have had a strong brand and a strong infusion of our proprietary products. They've been able to weather the downturn quite well because we've got a point of difference. But our UK business, which we had bought in 2007, just prior to the crash, was still very much dominated by their own low-priced, high-volume products. And so our margins over there got hammered because there was no point of difference. And so what we've been trying to do in the UK, and that's been causing a lot of the work, so we had a very profitable business that went, within 2 years down to a break-even position. It's been a lot of hard work to try and get that business refocused and positioned away from the low-end products to the more premium types of products that we sell here in Australia and New Zealand. In New Zealand, our issues here was that we're the market leader. So with more than 50% of the market, there's no way we could avoid the downturn, especially when housing starts, drop by 50%. But our shining light, I guess, during the GFC was Australia until recently. So while the other parts of our business suffered, we still had Australia growing strongly, adding to the bottom line. And just recently, for the first time, I guess, since we've had the Australian operation, our revenues dropped by 7%. Yet, interestingly, profits rose by almost 20%. And that's because we could sense the downturn coming, so we improved the quality of our earnings. We bought better, we manufactured new products. I think that's the other thing, is that during these tough times, this is the time that you need to release new products more than ever. So rather than backing off on product development, we actually release more products each year. So we, on average, over the last 3 years, would have introduced around about 50 different products. Of that, 4 of them might be families, the same style, but being able to offer the market in these tough conditions new product ranges is essential to keep your brand profile.
Talk to us a little bit about the innovation process for a company like Methven, because one of the issues that you've had to deal with is water conservation. For instance, people are a lot more conscious of how much water they're using because obviously they're paying for it. How much have you had to adapt to the market with the way you actually develop your products?
Because we live in New Zealand, we were very fortunate that in New Zealand we have very challenging water conditions. Basically, a lot of homes have very low flow conditions, and some of you might remember that having hot water tanks on the top of the roof. Or low pressure hot water cylinders. This is the environment Methven grew up in, and so it had to develop products that worked very well under low flow conditions. So by the time the water conservation really became a major impact on the world in New Zealand, we'd already had the products that could work incredibly well under those conditions. An example of that is our set and jet technology, which operates at very low flows and gives a very good shower. So I guess probably because of the New Zealand environment, we were in a very fortunate position compared to our competitors who had to go back and re-engineer. So a lot of the world runs on high pressure. So you don't have to do too much to make your tapware product work. But when you're now asked in those same environments that you need to now restrict the water you use, and they had to throttle them back, they didn't perform as well. Whereas Methven products always performed well from the get-go. So it's allowed us to take the leading share of showers in Australia, so we're the number one seller of shower products, and move that technology into other places like the UK. So we're very fortunate from that aspect. But also going back, I think around about 2000 there was a major commitment by the company to investing in design capability. So at about that time in 2009, we were down to around about 2 or 3 engineers. Now the team sits at 16 in the design team, of which 3 of those are industrial designers, and we're seeing the benefits of that investment so long ago into ensuring that we had products that were innovative. Because at that time, Methven had come back to just selling into New Zealand, so it didn't really have a view outside. The team of 2000 knew that we had to go overseas and you had to have a clear point of difference, hence the investment in design.
So you maintain all your research and design here in Auckland?
Yes, our entire design capability is in the Auckland team. They do regular visits overseas, as you would imagine, the typical things like to the trade shows, but also they do a lot of qualitative research with end users in all the markets that we operate in the UK, China, and Australia. So a lot of groundwork is covered by the design team, and they're very skilled at observing, human factors research and how people use that bathroom space.
You haven't been tempted to switch the manufacturing operation to China?
Our manufacturing operation, most of our products are now coming from China, and we keep here the manufacturing of the key technology parts, and we also keep some of our key products, shower mixer products, are here because we strategized long time, in 2000 that New Zealand would be the design hub, and that manufacturing would be more cost effective coming out of places like China, etc. And that's what we've been working to. So we started that process of moving a lot of our manufacture of our sort of main staple products into China. We were very selective with the contract manufacturers that we chose, and so we were able to put in all the same standards that our Auckland factory runs to. So they're almost mirror images of each other in terms of the way they operate. And our teams are always working backwards and forwards in the two factories. But on the security side, I guess it's you keep your IP here. Yeah. All new product development is done here, not in China. And so our job for our New Zealand factory is get first off production runs done, tested out into the marketplace. When we're confident that we've got a market for these products, then they're moved into mass manufacture out of our Chinese plant. So yes, that was a strategic decision made to use the best of both.
How do you get growth in a company like Methven at the moment? So because given everything else that's happening around you, where will growth for Methven come in the next 5 or 10 years?
We believe that it'll come through mainly our shower products. So we have the most advanced shower technology in Satin Jet. The team are actually working on another type of shower technology which we hope to release in the next 12 to 18 months. So that always keeps us ahead of the game. And these products we want to make famous, world famous. And so it's releasing them with smart marketing into the various channels that we've already established. About 3 years ago we established our first foothold into China, and we have set up distribution we have a distributor now in Beijing, Shanghai and in Guangzhou, and we're concentrating on just those distributors and not trying to spread ourselves too wide to make sure that we can digest this well. And we're doing reasonably well there, and it's attacking a niche. So in those markets we don't go to our traditional plumbing merchant. We approach 5-star hotels that really want to offer their guests a really good shower experience, but at the same time being able to save water and energy, and that's the big benefit of our shower products. So for us, a long-term view, we have a long-term view of China that'll be a big part of our business.
You're hopeful that people having showers in the hotels might notice the technology and adapt it to their the next refit of the bathroom at home.
That's exactly it. So every one of those guests is a potential buyer of our products, and so having the Satin Jet name carefully branded on there that hopefully they'll take notice of. It's in the right place, it's a 5-star hotel. It all sends the right images because we don't have the big marketing budgets like our competitors have in China. So we have to use, I guess, key influencer ways, and so far so good. We're in a number of 5-star hotels in each of those 3 cities, and even some other places outside of those 3 key areas.
And what are your goals for the company? What are you really focusing on, say over the next little while, about where you're going to really channel your efforts?
We're really excited about the change in the way people gain information. We think that works to our benefit because Methven, being a small company of only 230 employees, it's quite difficult to become famous for a product unless you've got a big marketing budget. But we think the advent of social media, online searching really works to our benefit, and including e-tail sales in the plumbing sector. Some of our products, our Diva products in the UK, are being sold through that space. So we think that we've got a great opportunity to tell our story to a much wider audience, but perhaps a discerning audience looking for a specific solution than we've ever had before. So for us, looking forward, yes, we can see the growth of our business in the traditional sectors, but we're really excited about non-traditional sectors of our business growing. Recently we won a a social housing contract in South Africa, and that's for 67,000 of our Saturn Jet products were shipped into that market last year at good margin. So where we can fill niches and needs that are not through the traditional route is where we think most of the volume growth for Methven will come in the future.
Obviously a company with a very long heritage and a company that can still offer a 20-year warranty suggests that obviously you still stand by your products for a long time.
We do, and I guess it's been part of a company that's been around since 1886. A lot of the team are very proud of that, and to be able to put out a warranty which we believe is the longest in Australia and New Zealand, I guess speaks not just of the heritage but the enormous pride our team have of producing products that can last that long.